Yo, what's up Guardians, it's Novers and welcome back to another Destiny 2 build video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a really powerful Strand Warlock ad clear build involving the Thorn and Necrotic grips. Now, this build also works with Osteostriga, I will mention. Recently heard that the Thorn Catalyst is coming out next season in Season 23. I thought it would make a build around Thorn for PvE, as a lot of people are mainly talking about this weapon for PvP. Thorn's Catalyst is going to grant range and stability as a base catalyst, as well as another perk, which is dealing a final blow or absorbing a remnant, grants additional increased weapon range, as well as increased mobility and handling for a short time. This is really good because it's going to allow you to quickly get to the different pickups such as Orbs of Power or Tangles. Starting off with the subclass, we're going to be using the Needlestorm Super as it is the only currently available super. Bungie, give us more supers. Next we have the Healing Rift, as it is a great source of survivability for both you and your team. I'm also going to be using Burst Glide as it is, in my opinion, the best jump in the game. As for melees, we only have one option, so we're going to be using Arcane Needle. As for grenades, I'm going to be using the Shackle Grenade with this build, and you'll see in just a moment why, but it does play into a ton of aspects and fragments you're going to be seeing. Moving on to our aspects, we're going to be using Mindspun Invocation as our first one, and specifically the middle paragraph, which reads, hold to consume your Shackle Grenade and activate Weaver's Trance. Final blows while Weaver's Trance is active create a suspending detonation. Now you're going to be consuming your grenade here, obviously, which is a Shackle Grenade that suspends, to give your weapons suspending rounds. Now this also isn't just for weapons, but it also works with your abilities, and in this case, Necrotic grips. The next aspect we're going to be using is the Wanderer. Tangles you throw attach to targets and detonate into a suspending burst. Destroying a tangle creates a suspending burst after a short delay. Threadling final blows create a tangle. Now, as you can tell, this build is very centered around suspending targets rather than anything else, and also survivability. Moving on to fragments, the number one pick for fragments for any Strand build is Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. Now this is going to allow us to very easily reproc Weaver's Trance every single time, allowing us to have 100% uptime on it. Our next fragment is Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. Now, we only have one source of Threadlings with this build, which is actually our super, so if you did want to actually take this off, you could swap it out with Thread of Fury. Our next fragment is the number one survivability tool with this build, Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail, and it ties perfectly into our final fragment, Thread of Transmutation. While you have Woven Mail, weapon final blows create a Tangle. Now this is going to allow us to have Thorn generate Tangles, as it is not an actual Strand weapon, meaning we're going to have to be using this fragment to make that happen. Now as for a few stats you should prioritize with this build, in this order: Resilience, Discipline, Recovery, and Strength. Next we're going to be looking at the artifact. Now there's only a few mods here that actually matter for this build, and I'm going to be showing you them now. So firstly we have Refreshing Pickups. Picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability. Now this is another fantastic way to play into your abilities by picking up the Tangles, which you'll be generating constantly since your Thorn is actually going to be generating Tangles with Thread of Transmutation. Next we have Elemental Fury. While stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and Elemental Orb damage. Now obviously this is great because you're going to be doing extra damage to champs, which is just kind of a given for any build, not necessarily just a Strand build. Now for the last column we have Rapid Fire Ranger. Rapid precision hits against distant combatants weaken them for a short duration. Now if you are fighting against a powerful enemy with Thorn, or even a machine gun if you have that paired with it, you're going to be getting Weaken, which is a 15% debuff on the target that you're shooting. Now for the last artifact perk, we're going to be using Elemental Munitions. Combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Now this is obviously another given because you're going to be absolutely spamming Tangles everywhere, hence giving you special and heavy ammo, and the drop rate on this is very, very high. Now, the reason we're not using Monochromatic Maestro is, of course, because we don't have any Strand weapons. Now, if you did want to use a Strand machine gun or something like that, you could, but personally, the build is mainly centered around Thorn, so I'm going to be just using these two. Overall, this build is extremely powerful, and it's going to be even more fun next season when Thorn's Catalyst releases. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, consider subscribing and turning on the post notification bell. Also slap a like, helps out the channel a ton, and helps me make more videos just like this. Comment down below if you're excited for the Thorn Catalyst, and if you're going to be using it in PvE as well as PvP. Have a great rest of your day, Guardians, and peace.